Welcome back, listeners, to another riveting episode of Arts and Crimes. I'm your host, Kelly.
I'm Brandon.
And I'm your temporary guest co-host, Josh.
Beautiful, we're all here. Present and accounted for.
Yep.
Okay.
Nailed it.
Yeah, so...
On the very first try, no less.
Yeah, definitely. First try. Yeah, so we're going to do part 2 of Götz van Berlichingen.
Götz van Berlichingen.
Berlichingen.
Yeah, that's happening. But first, a word from our sponsor.
Blue coal. This summer, when you're dying from the heat, what you need is some blue coal in your bed. It transfers the heat to the soil, just like Mother Nature intended. It's blue, so it's cold. We call it cold coal in the summer times, and you need it even more than the winter time.
Blue coal.
So this summer, buy yourself a sack of blue coal and sleep in it.
Yeah, that's true. Now for our week checks. We're all looking at you.
Okay. Well, I don't know. This week, I don't know. I was struggling a little bit with this week check.
Mm-hmm.
Our 2-week check.
Yeah.
Just not a lot of I don't know, just not a lot of interesting stuff, I guess, going on in my life. And I thought of something, but I don't know. It's an interesting, okay, here we go. The only thing that I could really think of sharing that was like meaningful is a little bit of a bummer, maybe. So strap in.
Okay.
But I think what has started this thought that has now become my week check is my niece and nephew were interacting other side of the family.
Oh, okay.
And they're very young, right? Like 1 and 2 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But still old enough to get on each other's nerves. And the smaller brother said, "Go away." Just wanted his sister to just go away, and she was crying about this. Apparently, that she thinks that's really rude.
Mm-hmm.
And the comfort that was given her was the phrase, the sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, man, that is so untrue.
Words hurt way worse than
yeah,
sticks and stones.
like
Yeah.
it's a phrase. I'm sure that I used it on my kids, probably, maybe.
Definitely
Probably
not.
But maybe it's true for while they're in that stage of life or whatever, or the phrase is trying to get people to like understand that they can shake off those words, that they don't have to let those words hurt them. But the truth is that words cause so much more pain. The reason that I think that this is extra poignant for me right now is at work, we've got a little bit of a drama going on. It's been really stressful, and stress makes everything harder.
Mm-hmm.
And it's harder to be the good person that you want to be all the time when you're all stressed out. And we've got some people that are kind of engaging in like rumors or gossip, and when they've made it, like, when you hear about them, when you hear the things that are being said, you're like, that's obviously not true. Like, there's no reason to even believe that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still being shared as if it's true. And these people like have no way of knowing. There's no way that person could have that information to share anyway.
Yeah.
So like, if you just take a few minutes to think about it, it doesn't make sense, and why would you continue to share this? But it is happening, and like, and so that phrase about words never hurt me, like it's not ringing true right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think it's a really tough lesson to try and teach You want your kids to grow up and be able to shrug off those words and stuff. But I wonder how many people like hear that phrase and they think that they don't need to police themselves and their words because words never hurt.
But they do.
But they do.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Maybe a little bit more effort put on having people understand the damage that words do and be a little bit more careful.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I got that's on my mind lately. Everything else is fine, but not exciting enough to make it to the week check.
Sometimes it's okay to be thoughtful.
Yeah.
I did not think about my week check until I said, "We're looking at you, Brandon." And I probably should have thought of a week check. Here's the week check. I'm on book 7 of Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Mm-hmm.
This is not nearly as introspective as Brandon's. And I was like on the internet like I do. And somebody like posted something and they're like, "Don't forget that Matt Dinneman said that he wrote a tragedy, not a comedy." And I was like, "Oh no. Please, my precious Carl, don't take them from me." So now I'm very concerned. And I've also slowed down my reading / listening. Yes, my consumption. Because the last book's not out yet. And I don't want to like blast through these ones and then not have anything until it comes out. So I'm hoping I'll take the last 2 much slower. So today I was not listening to Dungeon Crawler Carl, actually. I was listening to a book about the Green River Killer. So
You're on book 7, you said?
yeah.
So I'm still a book behind you, I think.
But I just am barely into 7. Oh, I don't know.
I'm 61% through.
Oh,
book
so
6.
you're pretty close because I'm only just barely into 7. So yeah, you're almost there. And 6, I think, was a hard one too because some stuff happens that I just was like, oh, this hurts. This hurts. All the stuff with Katya is hard.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Though you made a comment about like maybe not loving the 6th book as much as some of the others, and then you blamed it on that you don't really like Magic the Gathering.
Yes, yeah, I hate Magic the Gathering.
But
What?
it has
it has very little to do with Magic the Gathering, except that he literally says, like Magic the Gathering.
Who said that?
Carl.
He might have said it at some point, but he's a nincompoop. Because this clearly based off of like Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh or something.
Yeah, that's definitely what it felt, because you're like summoning creatures and instants and that kind of stuff. I should have said this before. Spoilers for book 6. So if you're,
well, they're hardly
really.
spoilers. I mean,
Yeah,
we're being so vague.
yeah,
and
we're
there's
not
just
really
like a
giving away.
mechanic that.
Yeah, you know that there's cards in it, but that's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
not
I don't-
giving anything away.
I'm sorry if anyone's upset, but get
Rewind
over it.
and you
Words
won't-
can never hurt you.
But anyways, yeah, like I'm very averse to Magic the Gathering, and I think when I talked about it, I was pretty early in on the 6th book. But as you go, it's not like Magic at all. So yeah, that game sucks. Which I know that's a pretty like controversial stand to take as a nerd.
It's okay. You don't have to like Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, I understand it.
I had time in my life where I quite enjoyed it.
And you know what? That's fine. And I love that people can love it. And that's great. I just don't want anything to do with it. So yeah, book 6. It's not my least favorite or my favorite. I think, truthfully, it feels like the books are so blended into one for me. You're like, oh, this level and this thing. So
Yeah.
it feels much more like one thing instead of like separate actions.
I would agree.
Yeah. So it's hard to say like, ooh, this was my favorite, because it all feels like one.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my week check. Dungeon Crawler Carl. It's great. Still reading it slowly. Green River Killer. Not so great. He was very prolific. And lots of dead bodies. Now it's up to you, Josh. Bring us around.
Bring us around. Hey, you know what? If you like tragedies, not comedies, you should read Robin Hobb.
I don't usually like.
So she had a...
Brandon's looking to see if it's in my bookcase.
I don't think I've ever given you a Robin Hobb.
No.
Because, like, I really like her writing, but she's mean to her characters, and it's hard. She had a, like, there was a interview with her in an introduction or something, I don't remember what, but she was like, had somebody provide a mentor provide some advice, and he was like, you know, your characters just everything can't be rosy for them. They need to suffer. And she really took that to heart. And she was like, oh, they'll suffer all right. Anyway.
That's all they'll do.
She's a great author.
I don't think I have many tragedies, except for apparently Dungeon Crawler Carl, in my bookshelf. It's not usually... Like, I'm of the opinion that I want my entertainment to bring me joy and relaxation, and I'm okay with, like, you know, crazy things happening.
Which is why you read about serial killers?
Yes. I know it sounds like like a bit of an oxymoron there, but
you're like, but these guys, they're just so funny, you know?
it's just...
All the murders, they do it in such
comedy.
A humorous way.
I get a real chuckle. No, that's a whole different survival guide. I'm learning. And I so far haven't been murdered.
Yeah, so it's been very effective.
So, you know what? I feel like I'm doing pretty good.
Nice work.
Thank you.
Okay, my week check. It's been crazy couple of weeks. Like, work has been very busy. I had some, like, 14-hour days and working over the weekends and stuff. You know how they were like, AI will solve your problems and do all your work? And I'm heavily invested in it, and I'm working way more than I ever have before, or at least recently. And I feel like that's pretty common for a lot of people with AI, is that it doesn't reduce work. It increases the amount of work you do.
Yeah.
Is that because it's making you more efficient, so you're doing more work, or why is it making more work for you?
I mean, for me, this is something I've been thinking about a lot, but essentially AI, it commoditizes certain skills, especially in knowledge work. So, like, I draw this on the board, and I'll be like, if this is what you were capable, like a little pie chart, right? If this is what you were capable of without AI, then AI increases the amount of stuff you can do. But the extremely unique, valuable stuff that you do that no one else can do, that part of the pie chart stays the same. But there's so much other stuff that you get pulled into doing other stuff, right? And so I end up doing like, oh, I can do this, I can make these trainings, I can build this server. Many of these things are things, especially like building a server, that I wouldn't even attempt if it weren't for AI. But now I'm like, well, I can do it, so I should do it because we need to figure this stuff out. Anyway, so yeah, lots of work. That's something I need to work on, something I need to get better at. And the whole point of my, like, when I'm talking to people and I draw the little pie chart is to be like, you've got to be focused on your mission and what your value is and not get distracted and pulled into other things. And now I'm realizing, like, oh, I'm doing that. Like, I'm just doing stuff because I'm capable of doing it, not necessarily because it's the most valuable thing for me to be spending my time on. And then had my son's, he had a summer camp, and I went and participated in that, so that was fun. And I'm a little under the weather afterwards. I sound a little weird, but it was good. You know what's funny is it also just reminded me, I don't know if you had a similar experience when you went, did you go to camps with Lincoln much when he was like 12, 14, whatever?
Almost none.
Yeah.
Maybe none. The girls went to a few girls' camps that I was invited to attend.
Yeah. But like when going with Avery, it just reminded me of my own experiences. It was very funny to be back in that same kind of environment of being at a campsite when it's like a week-long camp, you know, and there's all this stuff going on. And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this one. I was here, and now I'm the adult. Like, that doesn't make sense. I'm not old enough to be here as an adult. And so I didn't stay. I went and slept at a hotel because I was like, I don't want to sleep in a tent. And then I came back in the
I'm
morning.
an adult, apparently.
Yeah, I'm an adult, and that means I do this my way. So long, tents, and sleeping bags on the ground. Hello, air-conditioned hotel.
Yeah,
That's so funny.
Way better.
So I've only, like I said, I only went to a few.
Yeah.
And the girls' camp was up in Heber, and it was so cold outside. And the girls all had cabins, and I had this little rinky tent.
Oh no!
It was just me shivering in my sleeping bag every night.
Oh, you should got a hotel.
Yeah, this was an option I didn't even consider.
Yeah.
Josh didn't consider the tent.
Yeah. I briefly considered it. And by briefly, like, as soon as one minor impediment came up, I went, well, it's the hotel then. It's essentially like I tried to hammer in that the first stake, and I run into like a rock, and I went, I can't do this. This tent wasn't meant to be. Anyway.
I shall go.
So yeah, it's been very, very busy.
That's amazing. Well, good job, team. We checked in. It's been weeks. We checked.
Nice work.
It's morphin' time.
Go team, go.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, so we are going to finish up Götz. It's not a part 3. Don't worry about it. This is the end of it. And this one, I don't quote nearly as much. I just quote the most important thing, which is what he's famous for as a quote, he says.
Is it give me liberty or give me death?
Yeah, that's it. You did it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, good guess. When we get there,
Is it 7 years ago?
it'll sound a little different, like with different words.
Yeah.
But you're right there.
Was it play it again, Sam?
No, but I like your guesses. I don't think you can guess it.
Oh, I'm going to guess it.
Yeah,
Was it, we hold these truths to be self-evident.
I like it, but no.
Was it,
Think German knight from Fort 15.
Excalibur be my strength.
There it is.
that's what it was. German knight. Was it, das Hunden ist ein Klinkenwagen? Was that it?
No, believe it or not, I could tell that was not correct.
All of our German listeners are appalled.
I'll have to beep that out.
Listen, yeah, it's super
Super offensive.
I watched a German show. Did we talk about this at all?
Yes, the
Called
one
Dark?
on Netflix, right?
Yes.
Yes.
That is very, very dark. Have you watched it?
Mm-mm.
It's so good, but it is in German. And I just freaking love listening to the German speakers speak German.
Well, you'll get a great German quote here in just a second.
In German?
I have a version of it in German. I'll read it to you.
Okay, excellent.
But we got to get there first. But very first thing. Oh, did you want to do any other guesses?
No, I think that I probably know, so I can't guess.
You can't guess. Yeah, because
Wait, why do you know?
Because she told
I
me.
talked to him about it. Yeah.
What? And not
Yeah.
me?
Listen, Josh, sometimes we talk to each other and you're not in the conversation.
I can't believe. Remember how I said it was about betrayal?
We were like, I bet Josh will have really good guesses. He could
Yeah.
probably guess this.
Yeah. Hold on, I've got another one. Is it something about Lego?
Yeah.
Like, let's play, Lego?
Yeah.
Because they're Germans?
Yeah.
Sort of. They're Swedish.
Lego my ego.
Swiss. What
You're
are
the
they?
first one to coin
Dutch?
that.
Yeah, he
Or Lego
was.
my ego. Someone was cooking some eggs, and he was like, hey, you, Lego my ego. And he was like, that is $1 million record.
It's a clue.
Yeah.
My best and only impersonation. Okay, but first, before we get to the quote, we'll actually get to it pretty quick, so you don't have to wait till the very end on this one.
Oh, good.
So you're welcome. But first, I really quickly wanted to talk about the prosthetics and the kind of a little bit of the history with it, because last time we found out that he had a prosthetic, but we really didn't talk a ton about it, other than it was like the most intricate of its kind historically.
And his name is Iron Hand?
Götz of the Iron Hand, yes.
Götz of the Iron Hand. Yes.
And so I think...
I'm sorry. I didn't sleep.
It's
Even
okay.
though I was in a
This
hotel, I
is
didn't
tired,
sleep.
Josh.
Yeah, it'll be
Keep
great.
him engaged. It's either you either accept this
or
he's
falls
gonna fall asleep.
Yeah, which we take this for sure.
All right, so Götz.
Okay. Yes. So, but before Götz, there was prosthetics. I think, like, I was trying to say at the end of the pod last time that it was the first of its kind in its intricacy and capabilities. But I don't think I articulated that very well. So it was not the first prosthetics by any means. So the oldest known prosthetics are two different artificial toes from ancient Egypt.
I remember I saw a picture of one of those.
Yeah. And they were made from like cartilage.
You know why they needed them? So they could wear sandals.
Yeah. How embarrassing if you don't
Without
have.
the big toe, you can't wear sandals.
It just floops around. And then.
And I don't know if you've ever seen The Prince of Egypt, but they're all about them sandals.
That's true. It was some kind of like paper mache linen plaster combo is what that material was. And it was around 2600 and 3400 years old. The exact age isn't known. But there we go. And then other prosthetics, there's like wooden and leather toe, another toe, which is known as the Cairo toe.
Okay, here's something. Do you think they only have those prosthetics because if someone lost a hand, they were like, he's dead, just to let him bleed out?
It might.
They never had to make a prosthetic leg a single time because they were like, an alligator bit his leg off and then he just died.
Yeah, like as far back as that, they're like a toe we can do.
Yeah,
more than that.
Anything beyond that, no.
You just leave him.
You just.
In fact, take the arm.
Yeah.
And, but 300 years later, so about 300 BC, in Italy, an ancient Roman nobleman used a prosthetic leg. And they were made of bronze and hollowed out wood and were held together with leather straps. There are a few other early known prosthetics in like Switzerland and Germany in the 5th and 8th centuries. But Götz's iron hand is widely considered the most intricate articulating historical prosthetic. So what happened was, after he had his arm shot off, and he survived it, he commissioned a blacksmith to forge an iron prosthesis capable of wielding a sword, because if he could not be a knight, he did not want to do anything. Like, he just could not think of his existence without it. And so the blacksmith constructed a modest prosthetic hand, and it was composed of 4 fingers and a thumb attached to like a glove, and there were 2 hinges on the upper edges of the prosthetic palm, of the palm part, which rotated the 4 fingers inward, allowing Götz to grasp the sword. The fingers could be moved in pairs of 2, moving the left finger block, and this consisted of the index and middle finger, automatically caused the thumb to move the opposite direction, causing it to have like a full grasp action. And then by pressing a button on the back of the hand, all of the fingers would spring back to their outstretched position to let go of things. And then after that, he was in quite a few different conflicts and had to have another more functional prosthesis made. And his second iron hand extended just below the elbow and was secured with leather straps. And the blacksmith constructed 3 individually articulating joints instead of just the 2 on each of the 4 main fingers and 2 on its thumbs. And this provided better grip. The position of each digit could also be locked into place using spring-loaded mechanisms built in to the prosthetic specifically. And then I'm having a hard time with this word. And then 2 buttons were used to reset the thumb and the 4 fingers back to the normal like open hand position.
So this is a very complicated prosthetic.
Super, yeah. And then there was
did they get a clockmaker to make it or something?
This it says that it was the blacksmith that did it. I don't know if he had or outsourced some of it. Outsourced
the work of the clockwork hand.
And then there was a third button that would also angle the wrist so that he could move the wrist 15 degrees. And then this allowed greater range of movement and activity. And then this positioning could be fine-tuned by his other hand, but it allowed him to grip things like his sword firmly, but also things as delicately as a quill. So yeah, it was.
So he kept using the same hand for his sword?
Yeah.
He didn't switch to the other hand?
I mean, nowhere does it say that he did.
That's really interesting to me.
Isn't that nuts? I also thought the same thing because I was like, I would want to switch to my other hand.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would think that even as much of a marvel as this sounds like it was, that it still wouldn't be as nuanced as an actual hand. Like,
My only thought was maybe the articulation that you are capable of in full armor isn't that much different than his armor, than his iron hand had. So when he had his hand gripping the sword anyways, usually it wasn't like he was moving a lot. I don't know.
Was there a button to perform a rude gesture?
No. There wasn't, unfortunately.
important feature.
It was.
Yeah,
He had to use his left.
Dropped the ball.
He had to use his left hand for that. Okay.
But then he could never do the double bird.
And never again.
Yes, he lost out on one of the main joys of life.
Yes. Okay, so now we're going to get back into... So really today, I'm just going to talk about two main stories. Last time, I think we talked quite a few of various escapades, and I think we got a feel for who Götz is. So this one today, we're just talking about the story where he has his famous quote, and then the second story, which is mainly how he ended up serving more prison time.
And the quote is, "That's not sauerkraut, that's my wife."
That was pretty good. No, it's not that, unfortunately. Back on track. Okay, so the year is 1515. And so Götz got involved in a feud and or conflict with the people of Mainz. So the officials of Mainz, there was supposed to be a gathering of the officials of Mainz and Leonhard von Thurm and Wolf von Hertham. They were all supposed to listen to the issues of the area. And so when Götz showed up, instead of discussing the issues, they were playing chess and then beat each other up.
Yes! Yes! This is the best.
Okay, so Götz did not like this. And
You know why he didn't like it? Why didn't you like it, Brandon?
Randy, you gotta pay attention.
Nah.
This is when we're getting to the,
Some
not to
real
him, to me.
Spicy.
Look at me, look at me.
Repartee going on. All right, continue.
Okay,
I'm just going to interrupt you 6 or 7 more times.
yeah. So Götz didn't like that they were just like playing chess and beating each other up because they were unable to come to any kind of conclusion on the matters at hand, which in his biography, he did not describe any of the matters at hand. He just was like, they wouldn't talk about it, and it was really annoying. So Götz didn't like that, and
You know why he didn't like it? Because he doesn't like violence. He doesn't like people punching each other.
usually no.
Good
Yeah.
job.
He was
Yeah.
a happy guy.
He's a Friedrich Aleman. I don't know how to say German in German.
I was gonna say
So
that's
I
like
said
close
German
to Spanish.
and Portuguese.
Yeah. So Götz said that there was nothing for it. He was going to handle this, and he wrote a formal letter of feud to the bishop.
Formal letter of feud.
Yeah, that's what you do to be honorable about your feuds and conflicts. So he sent a letter to the bishop, formally letting him know that they were all in a feud. And so for a while, there was quite a bit of like back and forth, like taking control of this village, leaving here, getting...
What would you do if one of your students came up to you with a handwritten note that was a formal declaration of feud between them and another student, and they were like, "I just want you to know, teacher,
This is happening.
we are feuding, me and this student."
I think it would really, really depend on the students.
Yeah.
Because I've actually had students that by law I had to switch them into different classes because they were legally not allowed to be in the same class because they were fighting.
dear.
But I had other kids that were like, it's a declaration of war! And they're just like two boys being funny. So I think it would severely depend on who it was. But if it was real, then I'd probably just let the admins handle it. I don't get paid nearly enough.
Good answer.
Thank you. Also, it would just waste so much class time. Anyways, so he was like, I devised a plan, and I took horses, and we went this way, and, you know, we hid here, and, like, don't tell the enemy that we're hiding here. And then, like, oh, no, my men told the enemy we were hiding here. And then he was like, ah, dang it, now we're not hiding anymore. And that just, like, happened a lot for a little bit. And then during one of the skirmishes, Götz was fighting, and the guy that he was fighting recognized Götz. And he's like, truly, are you the one and only Götz? And he was like, yeah, it is. And he's like, I surrender. Like, immediately, him and all his men surrendered.
He was like, give me a 5 with your iron hand.
With the iron hand. That's amazing. And so Götz was like, fantastic. You are a high-class prisoner. High-quality prisoners. And so he took these guys and hid them. And he was like, okay, I have this really great plan to use these really great prisoners as leverage. Don't tell anybody where we're keeping the prisoners. And the guys were like, sure thing, chief. And then they immediately told people where the prisoners were. And so he got his prisoners taken away. He was like trusting all the wrong people.
Who are these people? Yeah.
It just is insane. So he lost his prisoners and his bargaining chip. And so he said, oh yeah, I am going to quote a couple times. So this is not his famous quote. So he said, I just really liked it, and I want to start using this quote. He said he was now in the mood to make the area unsafe. I just thought it was so great.
Okay, just imagine a basketball game, you know, the Let's Get Ready to Rumble.
Uh-huh.
We're in the mood to make the area unsafe.
Do you know how amazing that would be? I would love that chant.
Na-na-na-na-na-na-na. We're getting unsafe.
Yeah, no, I would be so much more into sports if that kind of stuff happened. So he said that revenge was a motivation for him during this. And so his next moves were slightly out of character for him, because he took him and 7 of his like most trusted men, and they went and they burned down 3 towns.
3 towns.
3 full towns.
Jeez.
And
some men will burn down 3 full towns instead of just talking to a therapist.
Yeah. So he explains, normally he doesn't enjoy wrecking up places and then burning them down, but he needed to in this occasion, because he really needed to get the attention of the overseer of the region. And since nothing else was working and people kept telling his enemies where his prisoners were and stuff, he was like, I'll try my luck this way. And guess what? It worked really well. Like, within hours, the official came out onto the wall that was on fire and was screaming at Götz. And this is his famous line. Götz looked up at the official and he said, lick my ass. And it was... So that line...
I was never going to guess that.
No, you weren't. So that line, I also verified that it is the successor of Kiss My Ass. So that's where it all comes from.
Precursor?
Yeah, the precursor, excuse me.
I like that they were the idea that they were workshopping it, and they were like, should we do kiss or lick? And he's like, I think lick is more.
Yeah.
It's really got something going.
Yeah, and they said, like, in the research, they talked about how it was changed from lick to kiss because kiss was so much less vulgar feeling than lick, which I agree. But
so we're bringing it back.
Yeah. But the line, so he says the line, and it's in his writing and everything, but it really got immortalized later because there was a play written called, here's some German for you, Josh, Götz von Berlichingen mit der eisernen Hand, which is Götz von Berlichinger with the Iron Hand, or the English version is just Götz of the Iron Hand. And the author was Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, or Goethe, I don't know. And this was in 1773 that he wrote this play. And in the play, he says that line, and it just was wildly popular. So in the play, the play is based on Götz, so it's about Götz, more or less, but it's not completely accurate. Like, the play is like a loosely based sort of thing. And the situation that we just discussed on where he says it, in the play, it says that Götz is holed up inside his castle, which is being besieged by an overwhelming force of imperial troops sent by the Bishop of Bamberg. The captain of the imperial army demands Götz's unconditional surrender, and Götz speaks to the army's trumpeter from a high castle window. He explains that he has deep respect for the Holy Emperor, but absolute contempt for the corrupt local rulers hunting him. So here's the quote in German for you.
Okay.
Menschen decken, sagdenen Hauptmann, vor ihro Kaiserlin Majestat hab ich alsit schuldigen Respekt. Aber sag's ihm, kann mich im Arsch licken.
Arschlicken.
Which translates, tell your captain, for his imperial majesty, I have, as always, due respect. But he, being the captain, tell him he can lick my ass. And here's why that was such like a impactful line. So at the time, in European theater, they were really strict with polite, elevated, poetic language in these sorts of things. And so using a really vulgar, raw, peasant-like insult was like a big shock to audiences at that time. And was kind of against traditional theater rules. And so the line instantly sort of transformed Götz into a symbol of personal freedom. And it showed a free-spirited knight refusing to bow to bureaucratic tyrants, even when facing death. And so this became famously called the Swabian salute. So if you gave somebody this Swabian salute, then you were telling them to kiss your butt.
What was the Swabian salute? What did it look like?
It didn't have like it was all the
There was
words.
no gesture.
Yeah. Because
was
we're talking
just-
about how words can't hurt you.
Yeah, it was just,
It was just the words.
lick it.
You know why he had to do that? Because he didn't put the button to give the bird on his iron hand.
Why?
He had to invent a whole new way
of
to insult people.
Yep, from a distance, and that's what he did. So yeah, the play. I was going to read the play, and I even found they're like, "Hey, do you want to read the transcript of this play?" And I was like, "Yes, please." And Google was like, "Here you go." And so I opened it, and it was all in German, and I was like, "Rude, Google." And so then I found an English version, and I started reading it, but it was written in the style where the S's looks like F's.
Mm-hmm.
And like
Taxachuffets?
Yeah. And I just did not have energy for that, so I was like, "Ugh." So I just spark notes it and looked it up. And the play is about Götz, and it uses that line, and it like touches on real things that happened, but it's otherwise very inaccurate on his life. So yeah, there's that. But it like is what really propelled what he said into being a very famous, more commonly used phrase. So that was the second of the two famous things. But we also need to touch on a little bit more of the crime that happened. So here's the second big story. This is how Götz ended up spending a little bit more than 15 minutes in jail. So this is during the Peasant War. of 1524. That rhymed. Oh. Anyways, so the peasants at the time were really unhappy with everything that was going on, and they decided to revolt. And there had been like little skirmishes and little revolts here and there, but this turned into like a full-blown war. And Götz wrote to his leadership asking what they wanted him to do. And because he was really worried about his wife was pregnant at the time, he had children at home. He was worried about the people that work for him, because in previous revolts, like they had done some real harm and killed quite a few nobles, the peasants had. And so he was like, what do I need to do to, like, where do you want me to go? And so he wrote that letter, sent it off, and then he rode home so that he could get back in time to hopefully receive his letter. So he came back home, and then he asked his wife, like, did a letter come? And she was like, no letter came. And he was flabbergasted. But we find out later that a letter had in fact come.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. And his wife's sister had told her to burn the letter, so that, because she was like, you'll die if you let him read this. So burn the letter. And so Götz, he couldn't say what was in the letter because he never read it. Mm-hmm. And so it's not written in his autobiography, obviously. But Götz at the time didn't know that a letter had come and it had been burned. So he was super confused on what he was supposed to do because he didn't get any response back. And so he decided, because he's a man of action, he decided he would ride into town to try and find somebody of his leadership to ask and advise him. And so he left, and he had to like kind of fight his way to find somebody of nobility there. And so he did. He shows up, and there was a lord there, and he was like, what should I do? The peasants are like having this, it's like really organized and crazy. And the lord was like, oh yeah, you should be you have to be taken captive by them. I would do it, but I can't. So you have to. And he was like, well, I gotta do my duty. And so he got taken captive by the peasants, and the peasants brought him to the, like, I guess the main leaders of the peasants. And they're like, is that Götz of the Iron Hand is our captive? And they're like, Götz, babe, you should be our captain and lead us. And he was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to lead you guys against the nobles. And they were like, well, if you don't become our captain and lead us, then we will kill your entire family. And he was like, I would have rather been beaten to death myself, but I couldn't let my family be killed. So I was like, okay, fine. I will lead you for 8 days. And that's it. And then you have to let my family go. And they were like, not good enough. We need you for a full month. And he was like, all right, I will lead you for a full month, although you'll want to be rid of me after 8 days because I'm a hard leader and you won't like it. And the other rules you have to agree to is that you won't kill any nobles, you won't loot, and you won't burn any castles.
What? I love the guy that burned 3 villages. Is like, listen, but no burning. Okay, guys, that's so passé.
Yeah.
We've done it. It's been done to death, literally.
No more of that. And they were like, yeah, sure. And sign this paper. And so he swore an oath that he would lead the peasants for a month. And the problem is he trusted them to not murder and pillage and loot and burn, and they immediately did all of those things. And so he was like, I can't be a hypocrite and an oath breaker, so I will lead these people to victory. But I'll do my best to like mitigate the damage. So after 8 days, he was like, they really did. I was a like real tough taskmaster, but they wanted me gone after 8 days. But I told him I had to stay for a month because I promised I'd be there for a full month. And so he does. He stays because he isn't a hypocrite or an oath breaker. So even though they, burned and pillaged and all that kind of stuff, he led them. And then eventually things died down. There was agreements that were made, and the peasant war more or less ended. The problem is Götz was known to have led the peasants for quite a long time.
Yeah.
And so he was.
Would you say roughly a month?
I would say about a month.
Yeah, probably a month.
Which in his autobiography, he was like, a month to the day. The peasants weren't watching, but I counted every day. And so he was immediately arrested. And he allowed himself to be arrested because he believed that he had done nothing wrong. Because he was only acting honorable. And if a knight made an oath that he would do this thing, he would have to do it. So that's why he did it. They should.
What if it was a bad oath, though?
I was like, what if your oath is to like murder people?
That kind of was his oath.
Yeah, a little bit. So he tried to explain that the entire time he was leading them, he was also trying to minimize damages and foster effective communication between the peasants and the nobility. And he even talked about how he was already very well versed in all of his previous exploits on how to hide from the law and how to like basically stay off the grid, if there's a sort of grid back in the 1500s. And he was like, I could have hid myself and never been found again, but I didn't. I let them capture me, and they should have taken that as a sign that I didn't do anything wrong and not punished me, which I thought was funny logic. Anyways, so he was brought before the nobility, and he was talking to a friend, and his friend was like, look, worst case scenario, they're going to put you in the top of the tower for like a couple years and then you go home. Super easy.
Worst case scenario is they put him in charge of their armies. It's like they're going to put you in charge of their armies for 2 or 3 months at least.
Yeah. So Götz wasn't a fan of the idea, but he went along with it. And they did in fact decide to jail him, but they put him in the bottom of the tower, the dungeon under the tower, and he was outraged.
So the worst case was the top of the tower.
Yeah.
And he was like, actually, the worst case is the bottom of the tower.
And so he was there for 2 years, and for the 2 years that he was down there, he was continually trying to appeal. And he was like, look, I'll write down the entire event word for word, and you'll see that I acted honorably and did nothing wrong this entire time. And so they were like, fine. And they sent a scribe, and him and the scribe wrote out this entire thing, and sent it there. And then he found out later, when he hears about the judgment from it, he found out that people had tampered with it and altered it so that there were things that he didn't do that were written in there that he did, or things changed in the writing. One of the things, there was like an abbot that claimed that Götz had stolen all the silver tableware because it was missing. And so nobody else could have possibly taken it besides Götz, except that later they did a search and they found the silverware under the abbot's bed. So obviously Götz had not taken it.
That is not a very truthful abbot.
No.
He's a religious person.
He should have done better.
And he stole and lied and impugned the honor of
a just knight.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
interesting.
He's going to HE double hockey stick.
And he hid under his bed.
He also found out later who the judges were that were judging him, and he was like, in the book he said, I would have been embarrassed, is what he wrote. So one person he knew that he had kind of good standings with, he was like, he was an honorable guy. The others, he had not only fought multiple feuds with, but one of them he had actually held captive for a while, personally. And so those were the people that were his judges. So he was like, it didn't go great. So then they were like, more time. So he had to stay in the dungeon for 5.5 years. And then...
So wait, he wrote an appeal, and they, instead of letting him out early, they added more time on.
I don't know if it was they added more time, but he didn't
Or-
get out of the dungeon.
He'd already been given 10 years. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
or something. So he stayed in there for 5.5 years, and then they were like, okay, now you can have house arrest. So for the next 16 years, he was under house arrest.
It's
Which,
a long time.
for me, I feel like that would be fine. I would be like, and it was, if he left, he would be either jailed again or executed.
Or they took his hand away.
They took his and slapped him with it. So it was like pretty severe. He could not leave no matter what. And he dutifully stayed on his property. He didn't go anywhere. He didn't leave, which was really hard for him because, as we know, he was very much a man of like being gone and at war. But he was also a man of honor. So he stayed. And the house arrest only ended because the Imperial Majesty was fighting a war and really needed Götz to lead.
Even though he hadn't been doing anything for 20 years at this point.
Like they still wanted Götz. And so he was like, hey, you know what? You've been really good. I'm really proud of you for staying. Very honorable. I need you to go fight. And Götz was like, you got it, man. And he went and he led His Majesty's armies in victories, and he led skirmish after skirmish, and he continued fighting actively. Like there wasn't really any time where he retired. He did this until let's see, it was July 23rd, 1562, when he died of natural causes at the age of 81.
81.
Yeah.
81 is old for the Middle Ages. That's
Yeah.
super old.
Yeah. And like being active.
Insane that he died of natural causes, given
Right?
all the enemies he made and villages he burned and battles he fought.
Yeah, like just kind of crazy. What an interesting life. I'm sure that he had a lot less fighting when he was like old. I'm sure that's probably when he wrote a lot of his autobiography. But was still active in like assisting and advising and all that kind of stuff all the way till 81, which is just crazy. So yeah, that is the story of Götz of the Iron Hand.
Pretty good. He's a pretty good.
I mean, other than all the towns, you know that like meme where he's like, he's a good guy, and he's like, what about the murders? What about the murders? You know that one?
I don't know.
Oh, you guys, you don't watch short form videos.
I do.
Aha. Not anymore.
Some podling will get that.
Yes, it was interesting. It is kind of crazy to me. Have you ever heard of, what are they called? Sovereign citizens. So, have you heard of a sovereign citizen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, have you heard of a sovereign citizen?
No.
A sovereign citizen is someone who has read various, like, the Constitution and stuff, and they believe that there's loopholes in them that allow them to not do stuff that other people do. So, for example, they don't think that you can possibly be required to have a driver's license. So, if you pull them over, they will often have, printed up a sovereign citizen card, and they're like, I'm a sovereign citizen, I'm not subject to your jurisdiction. And they're like, and the cops are always, it's like, you're in my city, where's your driver's license? And he's like, I don't need one because I'm a sovereign citizen. And they have this, in their head, it's this perfectly logical, like, but as soon as they get in trouble, they still go to jail, you know, like, it does not hold even the slightest amount of legal water. Mm-hmm. And yet, there's still a minority of people who are like, but it'll work next time. We'll come across a cop that will understand our logic, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what that sounds like when he's in jail and he's writing up this thing. And he's like, they'll see that I did honorably. Everything I did was honorable.
So I shouldn't be punished.
Listen,
Mm-hmm.
I led a bunch of peasants that murdered and pillaged and burned down some castles and stuff. But it was all done in a very honorable manner. And they have to understand my logic.
I told them not to.
Yeah. I was not in favor of the pillaging.
And if you remember, I burned down other towns that had peasants in them before.
Yeah. Anyway, and then the judge, and it was like the judges were all his ex-girlfriends. Like, it's all people that didn't like him. And so they get this letter from him where he's laying, and they're like, this guy again. 5 more years. And they put a big stamp on it.
Yeah. That's probably exactly how it went down.
Like, he seems like a very cool, his story is very cool.
Yeah.
But logically, I'm like, he's the sovereign citizen of the Middle Ages.
Yeah. It's just something like like reading all of it, and like obviously I have like more of an encompassing story of, because this is really kind of how he is. He's like, I acted honorably. This is what I should do. I just was like, it's just such a far removed world than the world we live in, where like, I mean, remember at the beginning of the episode last time with the Swedish guys? Were they Swedish? Anyways, with those guys that were locked in the tower, and they'd rather burn in the tower than surrender so that they wouldn't be oathbreakers. And Götz here is saying like, I couldn't not lead them because otherwise I'd be an oathbreaker. Like, that was something that was just so important, and it's just so different, the life and the world that they existed in. I don't know. I just really enjoyed getting such an in-depth look at this alternate reality that was our world a few hundred years ago. Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy indeed.
So, do you think that nowadays people wouldn't care about breaking oaths?
No, I don't think that's the case, but I think nobody thinks of oaths the same way. I mean, like, you know, there's the oaths that police officers take to serve and protect.
Mm-hmm.
And like, police officers in the 70s and 80s were wildin' and like did a lot of not serving and a lot of not protecting. And they serve and protect who they decide or who they decided instead of who they swore to in the oath, right?
Do you think that was a majority, or do you think that was the...
I think it was a rampant problem in the past. I think it's definitely a minority now.
Mm.
And like, you know, there's oaths that doctors take, do no harm or whatever that is.
The Hippocratic Oath.
That's it. I think those are all, really, really important. You just see so many people not following through.
Yeah.
And nobody goes to jail for being an oath breaker. Like that. I mean, maybe they can.
Well, yeah.
They do.
I mean, they would.
Yeah.
But they don't get labeled an oath breaker per se. Right?
Like, the charge is not oath breaking, it's like selling secrets.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I think that it is still important to a lot of people.
Yeah.
But maybe the reason that it was such a big deal back then is because they had so little to your name or whatever, right? Like, a lot of these people, I mean, he was what he was. He was a knight.
Yeah.
And that's it. And that's what he wanted to be. And he was, I believe, happy with his life for the most part.
Yeah.
But what does a knight have besides their honor? Not a lot.
Yeah.
Right? Nowadays, I would agree with you that honor is not as important of a currency.
Yeah. For many people.
You can commit really big time crimes, and as long as you have, enough money or enough power or friends or whatever, then you can get away with it because that honor is not the only currency that you have.
Yeah. So he ends his book with a quote, and it's much longer, but I took a chunk of it that when I read it, I was like, this feels like a Brandon thing.
Oh.
And I'm curious what you're going to say.
Me and Götzy.
You and Götz are kind of cut from a similar cloth, maybe, in some senses.
I'm interested to hear this quote, definitely.
Yeah, and then you can tell me.
I do think that there's a certain amount of my personality that would have really embraced the like a knight type life.
Yeah,
And
I definitely
honor
think so.
and duty and like having that direct my path.
Yeah. I also think you're definitely like a man of action. Like when you've kind of made a decision, when you are trying to work things out, when you're trying to accomplish something, you want to go do it, you know? So you definitely like think it out. You're very cerebral, but you definitely are like, I said I was going to do this, I'm going to go do this.
Yeah.
So
You know who
here
I would have been
Who
The
you were
abbot.
the abbot with the
hiding
Man.
silverware under my bed and blaming it on you.
Brandon.
I would be like, Brandon says I'm honorable, blah, blah, but he was stealing my forks.
Okay, here's the quote.
By the way, I have a bunch of silver forks for sale, not related to this other matter. Would you like to purchase some silver forks and spoons? And knives, cutlery of all kinds.
Trust us.
They're not from my abbot. These are from another.
From a different-
Someone gave me these. Brandon gave me some other ones
yeah.
when he stole mine
Trust us, we keep our promises.
that he stole from somebody else. So
Okay, here
I'm
is
raising money for the abbot roof. We gotta replace. There's a hole in the roof.
You really embodied this character.
And I'm trying to raise some money for it. If you see me drunk
Fondling.
out of my mind later, it's
Fondlings.
not related to
Do not donate for Josh's Abbott roof.
It's not related to this. It's something else. Someone gave me some booze, and I had to drink it to prove that it wasn't poison. Don't mind me if I take your money and get drunk on some other booze that's not related to the money. And if the roof stays unfixed, that's because I didn't get enough, because I need more silverware. So if you see silverware, give it to me. Or if you have some, tell me about it, and I promise I won't take it. And sell it for booze money. I mean the church.
Okay, here is the quote. In the end, I shall not deny that the Almighty God gave me victory and luck in my youth onward. All the misfortune I had to endure for so long only came from me trusting my enemies too much in our agreements. Yes should mean yes. No should mean no. One should follow their agreements one makes with another person. I always believed this, and I built my relationships upon this and hoped others would act the same. And then later he says, I count myself richer for all the dear, brave, and beloved friends.
Yeah. I feel like if someone says something, then it should be that.
Yeah.
You don't have to say, I promise at the end of a statement to have it be a promise. Like that's how I feel it should be. Like,
Yeah. That's the little bit of you and Götz are the same there.
It's your girtziness.
Yes.
Showing.
On the surface.
Your Götz is showing. Well,
I've been called a man of many Gertzes.
any last thoughts or anything before we close out?
Just that if you have some silverware that's made of real silver, can I borrow it? And if it ends up getting lost, don't blame me.
Brandon stole it.
Yes. That's all.
That's perfect. Perfect. Well, thanks, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was an enjoyable person and life to learn about. So go do some art. Don't do any crime. Bye.
bye.
We should get him on the pod for an interview.
We should.
Götz?
Götz, if you're up for it.
Or the abbot.
We know you're a pod. Both of them. And we can have them discuss.
It'll be a real Jerry Springer sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I love that. Götz is up here and we're talking to him and asking questions. And we've got a special surprise for you. The abbot that modified your letter to say that you stole the silverware. Where is he? Give me my hand. I need to do a gesture. Oh,
and
wait.
then he goes, lick my ass.
Yeah. And the abbot, the poor abbot, comes out with the robe billowing behind him. He's obviously chubby and kind of bald like they always are. And he just comes trundling out. Where's that guy who accused me of stealing my own cutlery?
Silverware falling out of his robe.
Out of his robe? That's not something. That's from something
different.
else. It's not from your green room.
Okay, bye.
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 What's that, Ein? Ein?
No, Brandon farted on him and me.
Ein, how dare you?
I heard it because he was right by my mic.
Well, that'll be the blooper.
Oh, so bad.
So many times things have been promised cut.
And they were lies, all of them.
But then they were.
My week check this week is about betrayal.
But only if it's really funny.